Hi, and welcome to Prepping Essentials.
Good morning, it's 6:45 on Friday the 10th of April. On the way down to the land. Not quite sure what we'll get done today. It might be a bit of a crazy weekend this weekend, but let's find out. Well, here we are down on the land. It's a cool morning, but it's very pleasant. Everything appears to be as it was last weekend, so I'm keen to get unlocked and get cracking. First thing I am going to do is just pop across to the wildlife feeder just over in the tree line there, because as I walked across I noticed a couple of pheasants and something I don't usually see, a couple of rabbits. In fact, there's one just running down the bottom of the field there. Don't think you quite pick that up in this distance. So I'm going to take a quick look at the feeder, see what's going on there, whether it needs refilling or not, and then we'll get cracking. One of the things I want to get done today, if I can, is get some water connected to the sink. I got myself some little retro looking taps. This is a recycled countertop, so that's a hole from an original pipe. Clearly that's no good for this. I need two holes, hot and cold, into there, and then obviously piping with water. So that's going to be a bit of a fiddly job. It's got to go through a couple of walls, so I might be on for some time doing that, but let's see. You'll remember this from a previous video when I did the rainwater harvesting setup. I brought the new pipe in from the side of the IBC cabinet, just connected up to that valve that you saw previously. So that's now in, goes through the cabinet, out the side where I drilled that hole, and then literally all I need to do now is feed the pipe and attach it down the side of the cabin here, and it'll come in at the back of the shower and kitchen cabinet. Well, that's the theory anyway. So a little bit of fiddly stuff now to get that run across the side. I've got some insulation cladding there which can go on the pipe once it's installed, just to hopefully stop it freezing in the winter. So a bit of a fiddly job this, but we'll keep cracking on. Just busy installing the pipe and the cladding, or the insulation. Had a couple of pipe clips already in the cabin, but didn't have enough to go the entire length, so I've improvised. Never say never. With some offcuts from a plastic corrugated sheet, which, as you can see, actually do work. They just fold over the pipe nicely and allow the insulation to go back over the top. So I'll repeat that as I go along the side of the cabin. Well, that's the water pipe installed down the side of the cabin. I've also got it lagged with that insulation foam. So off to a good start this morning, making some progress. I've just rigged up a pump to the battery box temporarily and put the tap onto the incoming feed pipe. So in theory, if I turn the power on for the pump and I turn the tap, in theory, and we've got water. Excellent. Then it goes off when the tap's turned off. Bargain. Just come to fit the taps, drilled the holes through, which is these two. That was the original one that was there from before. As I said, this is a recycled worktop. However, there is a flaw in the plan. As you drop the taps stems down through the holes and go to connect them underneath, the actual worktop is too thick. The stem doesn't stick out far enough underneath to take an adapter for the 12mm water pipe. So I have to dismantle the work surface, which I'm not looking forward to, but I'll show you exactly what I mean once I've got this worktop out. So outside on my trusty pallet workbench, and just to show you what I mean, the hole for the new tap comes through underneath here, and when you try and fasten it on, there's not enough thread coming out. Clearly whoever had this before and installed a single tap had the same issue, because they've took a hole saw and drilled out around the hole for the pipe stem. So I'm going to have to do the same on these two. Now that was one of the fiddlier jobs that I've done so far down here, trying to get those holes drilled and routed out without a router. But they're in, which is all that matters, so we'll go and do a test fit. Well, testing the theory, and it works. It's just rigged up temporary now, just to test it, with a little bucket to catch the water coming out the sink, but clearly it's working, which is all I wanted to do. So tidy up now, make it a bit more permanent, and well, all we need then is a waste pipe in. Bargain. Well, everything's in place now. Pump is mounted, piped in. I've got a permanent power supply into it, off a switch just inside the other cupboard. Flick the switch, pump primes, and then turn the tap on. Water flows. Turn it off, and the pump stops. Not bad at all. Switch is just there as a safety, really. I can isolate the pump, make sure that nothing happens. I've also got an isolation valve on the IBC tanks as well, which I think I'll tend to switch off if I'm not actually down here, because you never know. All it takes is one loose joint somewhere and the pump will start automatically, so better to be sure. So kitchen sink and gas hob now installed. All I've got left to do is plumb a waste pipe in. I don't actually have one down here, so that's a job for another day. It's 2:30 already. I have no clue where the day has gone. Absolutely glorious day. Sun is beating down. I need to stop for a coffee because I've not had one yet. And it is rather warm inside the cabin, I have to say. That clear glass roof is certainly doing the job of letting the heat in, but unfortunately I'm working in there, which is not great. I'm getting a sweat on, but I can't complain really. It's not often we get days like this where it's really sunny, so make the most of it, I guess. Just going to have a quick water of the seedlings in the polytunnel before I go. I'm hanging back from the door because when I opened it just now, the massive burst of hot air, I'm sure when I go inside I'm going to steam up. It's absolutely roasting. Seedlings are doing well, ready for a drink though, which isn't surprising in this temperature. It's absolutely roasting. Absolutely roasting. I'll be down again tomorrow, so I don't need to worry too much about this, but clearly they do need it. I'm quite amazed just how hot it is in here. I know it's been a warm day, but nonetheless it's like a sauna in here. Quite pleased with the progress on these seedlings. To say they've only been in a fortnight, or just over a fortnight, they're doing very well. If they keep this up, it won't be long before I'm transplanting them out into the raised bed outside. I think that will do for today. Get myself back out. I am absolutely roasting here. So it's been a bit of an odd day today. Spent an awful lot longer than I thought messing about getting that water piped in and the pump set up. It's gone 4 o'clock already, so it's time to get off and have a shower. I am a bit sweaty having been in that cabin all day, so I'll get myself packed up, get my wood pile covered up, and that'll be it for the day.
Well, that's it for this video. I hope you found something in there that was of interest to you. If you did like the video, please do click on the like button. Also feel free to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. As always, welcome any comments, questions or suggestions you might have. How's the kitchen sink looking? That was a bit of a nightmare, I have to say. It took far longer than I expected it to, indeed the whole day virtually. But it's in. All it needs is a waste pipe, and then at some point I'll set about finding some hot water to get plumbed in as well. Let me know how you think I'm getting on. Also let me know if you've got any tips or tricks that you think I might be able to use while I'm doing the kitchen work. But for now, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.